This is our example of how some people try and put ideas and personalities together with a very technical, very complex career field. And I thought that it was pretty fascinating to learn about this. This is called Explore Cyber. And the lady who briefed us on this, I had thought that she might even be here today, but she briefed the, let's see, we had a, K-12 conference this week for cybersecurity as part of NIST. We did a webinar this week. It was the monthly webinar. And she got on and she demonstrated a little bit about this Explore Cyber website. And I thought it was pretty fascinating to the point where I immediately said, we're going to book this here, told you guys all about it, and then I went out and started to do it myself. So when I told you we were going to do this, I hadn't even done it myself. But it just seemed so interesting. I wanted to go from there, and we can learn more about it as we go. So the website is actually i.explorecyber.org. And please feel free to, well, I'll drop it in the chat, in fact. Please feel free to go there and work on it. The issue is if you're performing it, you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing when I do it. So you can do it at your own leisure, but I've already done this, and so I got screenshots to show and that sort of thing. When you go in, this is designed, like it said, it matches your personality to cybersecurity work roles as part of the NICE cybersecurity framework or the DCWF framework, which is defense oriented. Pretty cool, pretty interesting. And you know, this goes back to aptitude tests and those sorts of things. Aptitude tests can be wonderful predictors, but they're not, you shouldn't accept it as being 100% realistic. It sort of says you might be good at this. This might be something you enjoy because you enjoy other things that are like this. Or you stay away from other things like this, so you probably are going to continue that trend and stay away from this if you're in the cybersecurity career field. So it's that sort of thing. Aptitude tests and personality tests are not designed to be 100% accurate or restrictive or anything like that. They just give you some ideas and thoughts. And I will tell you, when I did this exam, I read this stuff off to my wife when I finished up, and she's like, yeah, that's you, yeah, exactly. And I thought, wow, you know, she had fun with it, but she's like, that's you. So it was kind of fun when I did it. So here's the site, i.explorecyber.org. And it says, get started in 2 easy steps. You notice I put 3 up there. The reason is there's a personality test, and it takes you over to 16personalities.org, I think. And it performs, if any of you have ever done it. By the way, Myers-Briggs, when you talk about Myers-Briggs now, that has been copyrighted, and you're not supposed to talk about it anymore. So this is using the Myers-Briggs personality assessment, but there's no Myers-Briggs in it anymore. The reason is Myers-Briggs copyrighted it. They trademarked it, and so now you have to say, well, it's a personality assessment. So just so you know, there's the long one, but then there's also a quick explorer for high school and a quick explorer for adult. I chose the quick explorer for adult. When you click on it, oh no. Oh, okay. This one is different. I ended up over on 16 personalities Oh, let me back up here. I ended up on 16 personalities, so maybe that was the one. Yeah, this is the one I took. So I went to the full personality test. I didn't do a quick assessment. And it says complete the test, and you answer a bunch of things. It says you regularly make new friends. Do you strongly agree? Do you slightly agree? Do you barely agree? Do you neither agree or disagree? Et cetera, et cetera. And you just basically fill these things out. So if I click this one, it goes to the next one. Click this one, it goes to the next one. Oh yes, a whole lot, no, a whole lot, whatever. And you go through these, and it's about, I don't know, 12 pages of this. And it's you tell how you do things, how you think about things, things you do prefer, things you don't particularly prefer, etc. That's a personality exam. And again, it's based on your feedback telling about you yourself. So my suggestion, when you're doing this, be honest. Don't put down what you would like to be. Put down what you do, how you respond today, even if you're not too pleased with yourself. Okay, so if you want to get down to what is working for you and what may not be working for you, stick with your today. This is how I do things. This is how I think in my mind. Okay, that's my suggestion. And you go through these 16 different, it's about 12 pages of this. And when it's done, it gives you a personality type assessment. That is in 4 letters. And then, of course, they say you could be an analyst, a diplomat, a sentinel, explorer, etc. They've come up with these little words that tend to describe people that tend to be along the same personality as you. It's a lot of fun to do. Sometimes it's sort of depressing, but for me, it was fun. I finished it up, and it is, by the way, your personality will change over time. I did the personality assessment with Myers-Briggs probably 25, 30 years ago. At that time, it said I was an ISTJ. And by the way, those 2 letters are, there's 4 letters, and each letter has one of 2 states. So I means internal. E means external. You're one of those 2 in your assessment, so you're either an I, blah, 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 or an E, blah, 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 all right? So these letters look like they're very broadly variable, but they're not. And it could be you're slightly I, or you're slightly E, and it will still mark you as an E, for example. So just in case you haven't done personality tests before. And so, like, for example, for analysts, they say you're either intuitive, N, or you're thinking, T. So that's the third one of these 3. Diplomats, you're N or F. Sentinels, you're S or J. Observant, you're S or P. Those sorts of things. And then they come up with all of these, various, this is the type of person you are. Well, I finished up my personality test, and it said that let me pull it down here so everybody can see it. My personality type is Consul. I'm an ESFJ-A, and I don't even know what the A is. But let me read this. I thought, this was so good, I ought to put this on my resume. As an ESFJ, you are a warm heart and steady hand that keeps your social circles, workplace, and family running smoothly. Blah, 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 blah. It gives you all the great stuff about you, supposedly. Remember, it's based on what you reported about you. So you can lie, and it'll tell you, it'll say, oh, yeah, you should run for president or whatever. So be honest with yourself when you're doing your personality assessment. And it shows about, I'm 78% extroverted, 65% observant. I'm 57% feeling. So my feeling is not very pronounced, like, for example, back up here under extroverted, that's higher. My observant is higher. My feeling, not so high. And then judging, oops, sorry, that's high too. So just something to watch for as you're doing it. Now it comes down here and it says your career path. Now, just so you know, all of this, remember we started at explorecyber.org. All of this is from 16 personalities, not from Explore Cyber. So Explore Cyber referred you over to 16 personalities. So when you get your assessment, copy it, paste it. What I did was I printed it to a PDF, because then you're going to take that back over to Explore Cyber. All right. So this says you shine brightest in roles that allow you to combine your people skills with your organizational abilities. You thrive in environments where you can directly see the positive impact of your work on others, etc., etc., etc. Your strong work ethic, reliability, and attention to detail, you know, it sounds like I'm running for office, honestly. But that's what you'll get. You'll get this assessment, and it's fun to read. So I recommend you grab this and, you know, read it at your leisure. But what we're going to do, I'm going to take my ESFJ and I'm going to copy it. Now we're going to go back to Explore Cyber. Okay? And we're going to come down here, and it says, explore my work role matches. And you click on that, and it says, what is your personality type? Remember, I was in ESFJ. So I come down to ESFJ, the console, and I click on it, and now it says, this is what I think you didn't get to, David. This says, here are 10 work role matches based on what someone believes are the personality types that are in each one of these various cybersecurity work roles. So, cybersecurity policy and planning, I'm a 93% match. I'm an excellent match for somebody who does cybersecurity policy and planning. Technology program auditing, 93%. System administration, 87. I'm a former server admin. Data analysis, 87. Incident response, 79. And then we go down to the lower ones, systems testing and evaluation, 50. Not so great. So if I were using this to say, how, you know, what do I think I might like in the cybersecurity career field? This is a great way to say, according to people who are in the field and people who look at their personality types, they're comparing my personality type, and there's a high match here. All right? That's all this tool is going to tell you. But it helps you to understand the broad variety of roles within cybersecurity and where you might feel like you're a good fit. Okay, so that was the top 10 role matches for the NICE framework. Let's go back to the DCWF work role matches. And again, I'm an ESFJ. Remember, they gave you that name, console. And so I choose that. And now here they talk about the DCWF work role matches. Cyber workforce developer and manager. Cyber instructional curriculum developer. Well, that's actually what I do. Cyber policy and strategy planner. Forensics analyst. IT program auditor. You know, all of those I showed as being psychologically a good match. And then, you know, it talks more and more and more about that. You know, there's even more roles here further down, because according to this, I'm a great match for, you know, 10 of them. when I was looking at nice, it wasn't so great. There I was a good match for like three of them, and then kind of good, and then sort of good, and then not so good. Here it says, hey, you're a high match for all of them. So you've got to take this with a grain of salt and realize that your uh, actual personality uh, assessment results that you got from over on 16 personalities is just somebody shining a light on what you report your various personality activities to be. It may be totally off. You have to realize that. When we talk about the human mind, nothing is 100% or zero. The human mind can fool people. You could be somebody that just all you enjoy doing is sitting at home and watching, old 1940s and 50s movies, and yet you are superb at something that requires somebody with a very outgoing personality. Your personality assessment looks like you're pretty low key, but you are really somebody who's energetic and high key and really engaged, because that's where you find value for yourself. And it could be that you're doing a really good job because you have to. And you say, I got to buckle down and do this, even though I don't like it really, really much. But it's great paying. There's nothing else out here, and I got to stick to this. So you know what? Doggone it, I'm going to be the best I can at this. So you could literally be a top performer in an area where your personality assessment doesn't match. And that's totally okay. That's the fun of personality assessments. They are not a ruler that says, oh, you're 10 on the scale, so you need to be 10 all the way across. No. Personality assessments are nice to know. Oh, I am an ESFJ. That's all you need to be concerned about, okay? And like I said, that changes as well. So I thought this Explore Cyber tool was pretty interesting. I had never seen something like this before. We in cybersecurity are a highly technical career field, and yet somebody said, who are the types of people that do this? And they matched it to a very well-known personality assessment tool. Used to be called Myers-Briggs, and now it's just 16 personalities, whatever you want to call it. And I thought it was pretty fun. Anybody? That's all I had for my presentation. Anybody have any observations or thoughts on this? Don't all talk at once.
I guess I'll just say that I did it quickly last night while I was sitting there watching basketball with my family, and I didn't see all the other fine print. So I'll have to go back and do what you did. I didn't do the 16 personalities either. I went through the button on that page.
Right.
So it was a different workflow for me. But thank you for laying all that out. That was really good for me. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. For me, I've been in management for decades, and the old Myers-Briggs personality assessment is what it was called. That was something that was a big thing in the late 1990s, and many corporate management and leadership wanted people to know about themselves. And so Myers-Briggs was rolled out. Actually, my dad, as I recall, when he was going through his MBA in the 70s, I think he did Myers-Briggs back then. So it's not new, but it is well known to the point where you could end up in a conversation and somebody would say, oh yeah, I'm an ISTJ. Oh, well, I'm an ESFP or whatever, you know. And again, it changes over time. your personality changes. You grow. You could have some sort of traumatic event. You could be, a real social, outgoing person, but then something happens in your family and you end up being the caretaker role for your parents or something like that. So our personalities conform to our environments very frequently. You could, let's talk the bad side too. You could have picked up some sort of a compulsion or a mental health issue. Wasn't your fault, but all of a sudden you are now doing things that, weren't consistent with what you did in the past. Our minds change. So don't feel bad that, hey, I used to be this and now I'm a this. Just look at it as someone who's sort of trying to hold up a lens to the extremely complex personality that is you. They could be way off, but they could be, like it was for me. I was reading it off, and my wife, she was literally standing here hitting me in my shoulder going, that's you, that's you, that's you. So I need to put it in my resume, I guess. So yeah, it was a lot of fun for me to do. And again, there could be something very revealing to you. There might also be something that's sort of distressing to you, where you're like, oh wow, do I really come across that way? Use this. Use this tool to look back and look at yourself and say, this is very interesting. What should I do? How does this affect me and how I feel, how I operate, how I interact with people, how I interact with subordinates, with supervisors, etc. I will tell you, I'll give you a great example for me. Personality-wise, I was in the military and as an enlisted person. So when you're enlisted, it seems like everybody's above you, and it was drilled into me that I have to treat them with deference. Well, now here I am out in the private industry. I got out of the military in 1988, and yet I still treat people with like PhDs with deference. I'm like, do you want to be called doctor? They're like, no, call me George, or whatever, because my personality was formed very early in my life, and it has just carried through. And I will tell you, even now, when lots of people look up to me, I look up to a lot of people. And that is a very comfortable role for me. I don't feel like I'm less of a person because I give so much honor to other people around me. So, for example, that's just a little bit about personalities. And, when there are some personalities you are going to feel more comfortable around, and there are some personalities that you're going to feel less comfortable around. And so it helps to shape not only you, but the people you hang out with. So it's fun. I enjoy it. It taught me a lot about me. It always does. And that's all I had. Anybody else have anything before I turn off the recording?
Yeah, I have something.
Yeah.
I actually did Myers-Briggs back in about 95 when I worked at NSA. I was on a team of 10 analysts, and we were having conflicts. And so the management said, we need to have you guys do this, and then you can understand each other better. And so I don't remember what my score was back then, but I know I was introverted, and I still am.
Yeah. And it's kind of, it's a two-edged sword. When I was, back in the day when I was an INTJ, I think it was INTJ is what I was many, many years ago. I had a really strong aversion to having people classify me. Just taking the Myers-Briggs felt almost insulting to me. I was like, Who do you think you are saying that I'm this? You know, I did not like labels. I did, especially labels that were pointed at me. So just something to think about. And I think part of that was because I was internal. And oh, by the way, the J at the end means judging. I would judge myself as well. And I would judge people around me for judging me. And, wow, crazy. But, that's the sort of thing that helps you understand and honestly can help you position yourself toward or away from certain areas in your life, certain personalities in your life that are either going to enhance or detract from you. Once you start learning your personality, I'll tell you personally, myself, I tend to align myself with other people like that. And because I know my personality, I will engage more quickly and effectively with them than maybe enthusiastically, I'll say that, than maybe if, I didn't know my own personality in this game. So just something to think about. Again, if you know who you are, that's good, but let a personality test, shine a light on you, and you may get some insight on yourself that you didn't even have. So, and like Gary said, he took the Myers-Briggs years ago, and he still remembers his 4 letters. So, okay, that's all I had, everybody. I'm going to turn the recording off.